Do you often find yourself saying yes to things that you later regret? Are you looking for guidance on how to prioritize what truly matters in your life? In today's video, we will be discussing the art of saying no to unimportant things and the importance of setting boundaries to protect our time and energy. Lesson 1. Make your own rules. The first step in making your own rules is to cultivate a sense of mindfulness and self-awareness. This involves paying close attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and developing a clear understanding of your values, goals, and priorities. Mindfulness is a central pillar of Buddhist practice, and it is a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation. By becoming more mindful, you will be better equipped to recognize the unimportant things in your life and to make the necessary changes to eliminate or reduce their presence. Once you have a clear understanding of your values, goals, and priorities, the next step is to set boundaries and rules that align with them. This may involve saying no to certain activities, commitments, or relationships that do not serve your higher purpose or that drain your energy and resources. Setting boundaries and rules can be challenging, especially if you are used to accommodating others or putting their needs before your own. However, it is important to remember that setting boundaries is not a selfish or unkind act. In fact, it is a necessary step towards achieving inner peace, happiness, and fulfillment. The Buddha himself emphasized the importance of setting boundaries and rules in his teachings. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. Better than 1,000 meaningless verses is one verse that brings peace. This passage underscores the value of choosing our words and actions carefully, and of prioritizing peace, harmony, and well-being in our lives. Another important aspect of making your own rules is to be flexible and adaptable. Life is constantly changing, and what may be important and meaningful to us at one point in time may not be so at another. As such, it is important to regularly review and revise our boundaries and rules to ensure that they continue to align with our values, goals, and priorities. Impermanence refers to the fact that everything in the world is constantly changing and that nothing is permanent or fixed. By embracing the reality of impermanence, we can cultivate a greater sense of flexibility, adaptability, and resilience in the face of life's challenges and changes. Making your own rules also involves cultivating a sense of self-compassion and self-forgiveness. It is inevitable that we will make mistakes or that we will struggle to uphold our boundaries and rules at times. However, it is important to remember that we are all works in progress and that every moment offers an opportunity for growth, learning, and transformation. The concept of loving kindness is central to cultivating a sense of self-compassion and self-forgiveness. Loving kindness involves extending feelings of warmth, care, and compassion towards ourselves and others, and it is a powerful antidote to the harsh self-criticism and negativity that can often arise in our minds. Making your own rules involves cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the present moment. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it is easy to become caught up in our thoughts, worries, and concerns, and to lose sight of the beauty and wonder that exists all around us. In the teachings of Buddhism, the concept of mindfulness is central to cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment with a sense of curiosity, openness, and acceptance, and it is a powerful tool for enhancing our well-being and happiness. By cultivating a sense of mindfulness and self-awareness, setting boundaries and rules that align with our values, goals, and priorities, being flexible and adaptable, cultivating a sense of self-compassion and self-forgiveness, and cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the present moment, we can learn to say no to unimportant things and yes to a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Lesson 2. Avoid negative people. The teachings of Buddhism place a significant emphasis on the company we keep, underscoring the idea that our relationships have a profound impact on our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Negative people, in the Buddhist sense, are those individuals who embody and perpetuate the three poisons of the mind: ignorance, attachment, and aversion. These poisons, which are considered the root cause of all suffering, manifest in various ways, such as greed, hatred, jealousy, arrogance, and delusion. Ignorance refers to the lack of understanding of the true nature of reality, which leads to a distorted perception of oneself and others. Attachment is the excessive clinging to people, objects, or experiences, driven by the fear of loss or the desire for pleasure. Aversion, on the other hand, is the intense rejection or dislike of certain people, objects, or experiences, motivated by the fear of pain or discomfort. When we encounter individuals who are dominated by these poisons, we may find ourselves feeling drained, agitated, or unsettled. Their words and actions may trigger our own latent tendencies towards ignorance, attachment, and aversion, causing us to react in ways that are unskillful, unwholesome, and ultimately detrimental to our well-being. Mindfulness, or the act of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions, is a powerful tool in helping us discern the true nature of the people we encounter. By cultivating mindfulness, we can develop a clearer understanding of whether a person's words and actions are rooted in ignorance, attachment, or aversion, and thus whether they are likely to have a negative impact on us. Discernment, or the ability to distinguish between what is wholesome and unwholesome, is equally important in this process. By developing discernment, we can make wise and skillful choices about the relationships we cultivate and the interactions we engage in, ensuring that they are aligned with our values, goals, and well-being. Setting boundaries, or establishing clear limits and expectations in our relationships, is a crucial aspect of avoiding negative people. By communicating our needs, preferences, and boundaries in a respectful and assertive manner, we can create a sense of safety, clarity, and mutual understanding in our interactions. Self-care, or the act of intentionally tending to our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, is equally important in this process. By prioritizing self-care, we can ensure that we have the energy, resilience, and inner resources to navigate challenging relationships and interactions without compromising our own sense of balance and harmony. Compassion, or the ability to empathize with and alleviate the suffering of others, is a fundamental aspect of the Buddhist path. By cultivating compassion, we can develop a deeper understanding of the causes and conditions that have led a person to embody and perpetuate the three poisons, and thus a greater sense of empathy, patience, and forgiveness towards them. Loving kindness, or the intention to offer happiness, peace, and well-being to oneself and others, is equally important in this process. By practicing loving kindness, we can counteract the negative energy and influences of challenging relationships, and instead create a sense of connection, warmth, and positivity in our interactions. Seeking support and guidance, whether from trusted friends, family members, or spiritual mentors, is a valuable aspect of avoiding negative people. By sharing our experiences, challenges, and insights with others, we can gain a fresh perspective, a sense of validation, and a wealth of wisdom and guidance in navigating our relationships and interactions. By cultivating mindfulness and discernment, setting boundaries, and prioritizing self-care, practicing compassion and loving kindness, and seeking support and guidance, we can effectively navigate our relationships with challenging individuals while still maintaining our own sense of balance and harmony. Lesson 3. Avoid situations that make you feel unwanted. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of self-compassion. It teaches us to be kind and understanding towards ourselves, to recognize and honor our own suffering, and to extend to ourselves the same care and concern that we would to a dear friend. When we find ourselves in situations that make us feel unwanted, it is often because we have neglected or ignored our own needs and feelings. We have prioritized the desires or expectations of others over our own well-being, and in doing so, we have compromised our own sense of worth and value. To avoid situations that make us feel unwanted, then we must first cultivate a deep and unshakable sense of self-compassion. We must learn to listen to our own hearts, to honor our own feelings, and to treat ourselves with the same kindness and respect that we would extend to others. Secondly, Buddhism teaches us the importance of mindfulness. It encourages us to be fully present and engaged in our lives, to pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and to cultivate a deep and intimate awareness of our inner and outer worlds. When we find ourselves in situations that make us feel unwanted, it is often because we have been mindless or unaware. We have allowed ourselves to be swept along by the desires or expectations of others, without pausing to consider the impact on our own well-being. To avoid situations that make us feel unwanted, then we must cultivate a deep and abiding practice of mindfulness. We must learn to be fully present and engaged in our lives, to pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and to make choices that are aligned with our values, goals, and needs. Thirdly, Buddhism teaches us the importance of self-respect. It encourages us to recognize and honor our own worth, to treat ourselves with kindness, compassion, and respect, and to set boundaries and limits that protect and preserve our well-being. When we find ourselves in situations that make us feel unwanted, it is often because we have compromised or neglected our own self-respect. We have allowed ourselves to be treated in ways that are disrespectful, dismissive, or hurtful, and in doing so, we have reinforced and perpetuated our own feelings of unworthiness. To avoid situations that make us feel unwanted, then we must cultivate a deep and unshakable sense of self-respect. We must learn to recognize and honor our own worth, to treat ourselves with kindness, compassion, and respect, and to set boundaries and limits that protect and preserve our well-being. It means surrounding ourselves with people who uplift, inspire, and support us, and distancing ourselves from those who bring us down, drain our energy, or hinder our growth. It means cultivating a sense of inner peace and contentment, and not allowing ourselves to be swayed or distracted by the desires or expectations of others. Lesson 4. Avoid comparing yourself to others. When we compare ourselves to others, we are not only reinforcing this false sense of self, but we are also setting ourselves up for disappointment and dissatisfaction. We are measuring our worth against external standards, rather than looking inward and finding value and meaning in our own unique journey. Saying no to comparing yourself to others is a powerful act of self-love and self-acceptance. It is a way of acknowledging your own worth and validating your own experiences without needing the approval or validation of others. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and aware in the moment, without judgment or attachment. When we are mindful, we are able to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This can be particularly helpful when it comes to comparison, as we can notice when we are starting to compare ourselves to others and choose to redirect our attention. Gratitude is the practice of acknowledging and appreciating the good things in our lives. When we focus on what we have, rather than what we lack, we are less likely to compare ourselves to others. By cultivating a sense of gratitude, we can find contentment and joy in our own journey, rather than constantly seeking validation and approval from others. When we are clear about what matters most to us, we are less likely to get caught up in comparison. Take some time to reflect on your values and priorities, and use these as a guide for your actions and decisions. When you are faced with a situation where you are tempted to compare yourself to others, ask yourself if this aligns with your values and priorities. Compassion is the practice of extending kindness and understanding to ourselves and others. When we are compassionate, we are able to see beyond the surface level and connect with others on a deeper level. By cultivating compassion, we can break down the barriers that comparison creates and find a sense of connection and belonging. One of the main reasons we compare ourselves to others is because we are attached to a certain outcome or result. We believe that if we achieve a certain level of success or recognition, we will be happy and fulfilled. The practice of saying no to comparing yourself to others is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace, contentment, and self-acceptance. It is a way of breaking free from the illusory construct of self and finding value and meaning in our own unique journey. By understanding the value of our time and energy, we can prioritize what truly matters and cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. Remember, saying no is not about being selfish, but about respecting ourselves and others.